Hey, what's up guys, Shine here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Today we're going to be going over the full Riptide investing guide. Now I've got everything laid out from Operation Riptide here. We're going to be heading on in, checking out everything to do with it, checking out each different thing, what investments I'm looking at, and overall what I think the best place for your money is going to be. But before we hop on into this one guys, if you guys are looking to pick up any CSGO skins or perhaps some Riptide items, I've got a couple links down in the description, but let's hop on into it. Now first up here we've got the agents. Now the agents for me is really hard because we haven't really seen any agents in the past turn a profit, and I've never been particularly a big fan of investing in agents. They're one thing that, especially since they're so new, we're not going to see the supply really going down. They're not consumable, so the supply can't physically go down. The only way it can go down is through vac inventories or people leaving the game entirely, and I honestly don't think there's going to be enough to overcome the large amount of circulation out there and the relatively low amount of demand. You got to think that everyone who's interested in agents has got their agents by this point, and I really don't see a ton of investment opportunity here. You might disagree with me, but I'm just overall staying away from agents entirely. I don't see a ton of potential, and I think it's going to be a lot of stagnant prices. After that, we've got the 2021 Train Collection. Now this for me, I feel very split upon. I can definitely see there is some potential here, especially looking at those blues and especially those low float blues. There was a lot of trade up filler that came from this collection. However, when we look at our purples, we've got way too many outcomes for it to be that good of trade up filler unless you're going for something super low float to go for the USPS whiteout here. And that's really the only potential investment I could see is investing into these skins with the hope that there's going to be so many people striving for that USPS whiteout in the future that the supply is eventually going to dwindle down to a very small amount here. One thing about the 2021 Train Collection you need to be sure of is that you will probably see this collection return in the future in the souvenir form. Now, I'm not sure this will affect prices that significantly. However, this is one unique scenario that you need to make sure of, that you're confident in still investing into this collection with the thought that this collection will be returning in its souvenir form. Now, obviously, souvenir skins cannot be traded up. That's where your investment is going to be coming in here. Personally, though, I'm not really going in here. I just don't see enough that makes me personally too confident in investing in here. However, it's always up to you. After that, we've got our three main collections. We've got Dust 2, Mirage, and Vertigo. All three of these are going to be grouped together because in my opinion, it's really going to be broad what you're doing here. There's a couple different ways you can go. You can try and invest into the top tier items, looking at your pinks and your reds here. Now, I wouldn't really recommend this strategy. I think everyone at this strategy is overly bullish on where the collections are going to go for the future. Obviously, most of these collections are probably going to decrease in price over the next coming months potentially, so there's not a real good reason to invest at that super high level. I think most people here are going to go with the investing into the gray, light blue, or even blue skins. This is going to give you a lot more profit potential here, as you can always see a skin go from 14 cents to 28 cents, where you're not really going to be seeing that covert skin go from $1,000 to $2,000 in that same time period. That's usually pretty unrealistic. This is what we've seen a lot with these shattered web skins, where we're starting to see those gray skins in that $1.50 range, which is extremely expensive for something that was dropped out to the majority of the player base at that time. Now with this, it's really about judging the overall community and what they plan to do. We saw with all the Operation Broken Fang collections where the prices have really stagnated or potentially dropped down a cent. So there's definitely a lot of risk here if you're looking at a lot of the popular collections. We saw the Control collection from Broken Fang, which had the Op Fade, completely just drop off the face of the earth in price. We saw the Op Fade go down so significantly as people realized it wasn't as great of a skin as they thought it was, and therefore there is that risk here with something like the Desert Hydra, the Gold Arabesque, or the Imminent Danger. There could be a lot of hype now, but once we get moving forward a couple months, it could be completely forgotten, and that's something you really need to take take into consideration when you're looking to invest possibly into these gray skins, light blue skins, or blue skins here. Now, the one advantage with investing into these gray skins here is there's the possibility that this could really heat up in price. Right after the operation ends, we're looking at just a couple weeks out at this point, we could potentially see prices rise for a short period of time. This is what we've seen with a lot of items recently that have been pulled from the game. We saw it with some of the Broken Fang collections where the prices started to go up slightly after the operation ended, and there was just a lot of free profit there for a period of time if you wanted to cash out there. However, most people like myself stayed into it because we thought this was going to die down slightly, but then we could continue on through and make a decent amount of profit in the long run more than the short-term profit here. Unfortunately, at this point, that really hasn't manifested into more than what we saw then, and honestly, we're sitting at pretty similar prices to where we did at the end of the operation. After that, we've got the operation case itself. Now, this offers a lot of potential profit when we're looking at something like the Broken Fang case, another discontinued case, or the Shattered Web case. Both of those are sitting at a significantly higher price point than they were right as the operation ended for both of them. Now, it's not really fair to use the Shattered Web here since it was a little bit unknown what was going to happen there, and then obviously we got the Fracture case, and that kind of just threw everything for a whole mumble jumble mess there. So when we look at the Broken Fang case here, we can see that there was obviously no growth for a pretty extended period of time. Now, this is something that needs to be regarded. The Broken Fang case probably would have stayed cheap if it was not for the M4A1S print stream and the M4A1S buff that really helped propel this case out of the depths it was stuck into. All of these cases are discontinued, and there's going to be a large supply of them, especially when we're looking at the Riptide case. However, that just means there's going to be a lot of time needed for these cases to get flushed out, and then we could potentially down the line be looking at something similar to the Hydra case situation, where there's just an extreme shortage of cases because these cases are not really being produced at anywhere close to what they are being consumed at, and we've seen the price go extremely high. Now, looking at the Riptide case itself, I definitely see a lot of potential here. However, at the 60-cent price point that we're roughly sitting at, I'm personally not buying up anymore. I think that's a little bit over what I want to pay. Now, at this point, I've got roughly just under 300 cases, and if that's all I end up with, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. I'm still looking to buy more of these cases. However, I bought them at the 50-cent price point, which I felt is a very fair price point, and now that we're looking at a 60-cent price point, that just to me seems a little bit too excessive, but obviously everyone has their own price points and what they want to and are willing to pay for a case. After that, then we've got our patches. Now, patches are one thing that I really struggle to invest in, similar to agents here. There's something that, yes, they can be consumed, but to me, I just don't feel comfortable investing into them. I see a lot of risk, and there is just such little demand for something like this. Now, don't get me wrong, the supply usually is not overly high, but I still struggle to find a reason to invest into this item because I know for a fact that the demand on these items is so significantly low, and I could definitely see myself getting stuck with an item that is just stagnant in price. Now, you could complete the complete opposite of me, and you could think that the patches are a great investment. If so, there could definitely be some profit on the table for you. Unfortunately for me, when we're looking at patches as a whole, the low price point cap that they have is really not enticing for me. When you go and look at your patches and your fifth highest one is under $10, it really is just disheartening for me seeing that, and I don't have a ton of confidence in them moving forward. However, this is my view on patches as a whole, and like I said before, you can definitely disagree with me, and you might be right in the fact of the patches here. There definitely is going to be some patches that do grow in price. Now, after that, we've got our Operation Riptide Stickers. Now, this is not the surf shop, this is the stickers themselves. Now, this one, you're mainly going to be looking at your Liquid Fire Hollow. It's sitting at around $2.80-ish, and below that, the next two highest are the Great Waves. all three of these could potentially be a very good investment. However, I think one or two of them are going to outperform. I think the Liquid Fire Hollow right now definitely has a lot of momentum as we've started to see it pick up pretty significantly in price. It used to be around that $1 to $1.50 price point. Now it's almost at $3. The problem here is there's going to be a very low supply, which makes this price potentially a little bit deceiving. Now, I said that there's a low supply of these, but there's a low supply on the market is what I really want to emphasize. There's not definitely a low supply of these compared to past stickers. We don't know that. The problem here is we're looking at only 350 of the Liquid Fire Hollow, the most desirable sticker. And when we head and look at the Broken Fang sticker of the Battle Scarred Hollow, we're going to see that there's over 1,700 of these listed on the market today. Not when the operation is still ongoing, but rather today. So this makes me once again hesitant to invest here, just because I do see a lot of risk of something like this going down in price pretty significantly. But at the same time, this could also work very positively for the sticker. If it does become a popular sticker and there truly is such a low supply of it, the price can easily go up very quickly, which is something we saw before where the price almost doubled in the past month, and that's just because there's such a low amount of these listed on the market. The biggest thing I have for these stickers here is don't invest into them just because they are discontinued. Find a sticker you like, and at the end of the day, you'll be satisfied with if all you have is that sticker and the price point you bought it at. I don't think that investing into all of these stickers is going to be a good idea. However, there is definitely a select few that are going to make some pretty decent amount of profit. Personally, I'm probably going to pick up a couple of the Great Wave Hollows because I think they look incredibly cool, and at the end of the day, if I spend $1.50 for a really cool sticker that down the line is worth $2, I'm not going to be disappointed. I think it's going to be a very good looking sticker and could potentially make some really cool crafts. Finally then, we got our last item on the list, which is going to be the Riptide Surf Shop sticker collection. Now this one is really all over, and it's really hard to specify what we're really going to be looking at here for investing. I think there's definitely some cool stickers that are currently undervalued because they're overshadowed by some stickers that are a little bit more desirable. However, we've got some effects like the tier 6 that are going for $5 on the high end, but for only around $1.25-ish on the low end. So there's definitely quite a big range here. There's definitely some stickers that are preferred over others here. Now, I am not going to lie here. These are some pretty cool looking stickers, and I think there's quite a few of them that are extremely undervalued and right now are being slightly overshadowed by the Stockholm 2021 stickers. There's a lot of really cool crafts that can be made with these stickers, and I think there's definitely a pretty decent amount of them that are going to go up in price in the future. However, I do think there is going to be a lot of stickers here that do really falter out. A lot of your foils are just people riding on surfboards or anything similar to that, and I don't know if those necessarily are going to increase in value. But I think if you go ahead and find some stickers that you think look really cool, they're most likely going to be the ones that are probably going to increase in price in the future. But that is really all I have for today, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Drop down in the comments if you guys are buying anything Riptide related here. I personally bought up some cases, but otherwise I haven't grabbed a ton of stuff overall. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.